your back, yeah, like please don't.
I know you on the couch. You on the Wallow 2 plus X Super Saiyan Volume 3 Wallow. You know what I'm saying? You on the couch right now. You ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? You get up and suck the AT Tech College. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that.
In your life that you need to turn your back, yeah, like please don't feel sorry. At the door where you go and look, it ain't no turning back, yeah, like please don't feel sorry. Don't hesitate when you gotta cut them motherfucking off, yeah, like please don't feel sorry. You don't wanna have somebody got you looking like you lost, yeah, like please don't feel sorry. Yeah, please don't feel sorry. Yeah. Yeah, people fucking up your dream. No, it's not a sport, but they jumping on your team. Dollar bills, y'all get the money and the cream. Feel like Wu-Tang, 36 chambers in my new plane. You lanes out here, gotta catch a grip. You can't even catch a breath before they start to ask for shit. Everybody staring now, you can't even share a smile. People negative energy is heavy and wear you down. Need to separate it, I ain't even caring how. Cause when you got the gas, they gon' try to air you out. Where the clouds when you need them the most? The people getting ghosts, yeah. Like they never saw me. Just turn around and start acting like they got the Holy Ghost, yeah. No, that's not godly. Before they open up their mouth, you can see these people choke, yeah. Now they look salty. You got some people in your life that you need to turn your back, yeah. Like please don't feel sorry. Before where you go and look, it ain't no turning back, yeah. Like please don't feel sorry. Don't hesitate when you gotta cut them motherfucking off, yeah. Like please don't feel sorry. If you don't wanna have somebody got you looking like you're lost, yeah. Like please don't feel sorry. Yeah, please don't feel sorry. Yeah, please don't feel sorry. Just me and you together, girl, and we can try. But there's a lot of people that you're gonna have to leave behind. You don't need too fast, girl, like I need some time. You ain't gotta say much, girl, I can read your mind. Going straight to the top now, baby, we can climb. Going straight to the God space, baby, we divine. I'm feeling the feminine, Adam and Eve alive. Don't start your birthday, baby, don't be surprised. His best friend, he's a fear tactics. Every time you're together, man, something weird happens. Yeah, I'm just being on some real shit. Don't let nobody put you on a guilt trip. Yeah, you got some people in your life that you need to turn your back. Yeah, like please don't feel sorry. At the door where you go and look, it ain't no turning back. Yeah, like please don't feel sorry. Don't hesitate when you gotta cut them motherfuckers off. Yeah, like please don't feel sorry. If you don't wanna have somebody got you looking like you're lost. Yeah, like please don't feel sorry. Yeah, please don't feel sorry. Yeah, please don't feel sorry.
Cause that's it. Cause you might be getting all the attention for all the wrong reasons, and it can hurt your pockets. It can hurt your wallet. It can hurt your bank account. And that's what we get ready to talk about right now when we start to talk about the square energies, 90-degree angle, moon and Taurus, sun and Leo. Now, I'm a little late, so y'all already been experiencing it, but y'all ain't know how to point to it. Y'all ain't know where to be like, oh, okay, I'm experiencing lobalistic energies in some way, shape, or form. Remind you, anytime we experience a mixture is always a mixture, just like colors blend in into reality and stuff like that. Different thought forms blend in, become different emotions that you into or whatever, and all these got their different color sides and shades to them or whatever. And sometimes you get too evolved into it and you become a shady individual. So you lost internally into too many color spectrums, too many color shades, too many color forms, and for the most part you didn't know how to counterparallelize it and make yourself more light. So it got a little bit more lack of color, a little bit more lack of filter, and a little bit more lack of well, now I want to say lack of perception, but you could be aware and observe what you're perceiving, and you may be perceiving a bunch of darkness and stuff you don't need to be paying attention to at the moment. So it's about having clarity. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. And that's all we be searching for in the eternal world, a little bit of clarity or however the case may be. Now, I know a lot of times it may get hard to understand what is the starting point of actually saying Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius represent fire. What is the starting point of actually saying, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn represent earth? What is the actual starting point of saying the air is representative of Libra, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini? Or what is to say that water represents Pisces, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio? Now, for the most part, it's just about understanding what's playing out in nature during this particular time when the sun is in these pockets, and then coming up with a other attribute when we see the moon in that same position, knowing things is not linear, and then coming with a justification that could go beyond us even utilizing that element. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, we know some of the natural states that we experience during our spring, summer, fall, and winter. You know what I'm saying? These would be probably like the most broad things that we could ground other things up under. So, giving it other attributes, so it's almost like we speak in parables, but for the most part is relating to things in reality. So, when you want a situation in your life to grow, you may make an allegory or a hypothetical or a parable to a plant growing, or however the case may be, to give a person a more sense of what they're doing. And for the most part, that give people more comfort within whatever that they're experiencing, even in times that it seems like things are budging and it's hard to grow within a circumstance, a situation, a business attribute, a friendship, a relationship. These are all things we utilize the same terminology, yet we know that that's what we tie to as mental pills and stuff like that to be able to heal when we are experiencing the turmoil, when we still going in that direction in the third dimension. So for the most part, I don't want people to think it's spooky or whatever. It's just having a sense of comprehension. And you could sound a little intelligent if you know how to put the two and two together with some God behind you, relatability, in sync. So even if we're utilizing the English language, you should be able to find the energies in that and be able to put it together and have a sense of morality or give somebody a sense of understanding, even when there's no physical representation in front of us to be able to understand. Therefore, we all could each one teach one. So that's what it's all about. And when we are experiencing these energies itself, we give it kind of like groundings and stuff. So it play out in other attributes that may not necessarily represent the word and the thing that we see in the external world that we're grounded in on. So if we're saying things as a fire sign, but we know Aries, Sagittarius, and Leos ain't necessarily walking fireballs. If we say water signs as Pisces, Scorpios, or Cancers, and they're not walking water bubbles or whatever, or walking air pocket clouds like it be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, or just a goddamn firm brick or building or tree stump that others can lean on, and it'll play out as an attributes that the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn know what we talking about in parables. Someone leaning on you as a crutch is leaning on you and making you feel responsible for whatever that they not being able to handle in their life or whatever. So that end up being getting taken advantage of, a person using you as a crutch, and ain't no physical crutch involved. So it's just helping y'all understand that we can communion to the point that we don't even need all these allegories and parables and things of that nature after a while, because it'll just be body language and what we already know we dealing with, because we're not so separate from that based upon things we take from that, stitched together, and ended up making some of these. You know what I'm saying? So you get a little lost. You know what I'm saying? We get a little lost in Jumpman Next Volume Super Saiyan Basketball in the Hand. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? It's just it's life at the moment. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Just deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But when we start to talk about just the moon being in Taurus itself, this is making us react and respond to our stability, our security, our support, and its fixated energy. So the fixed signs themselves, Scorpios, Tauruses, Aquariuses, and Leos, are going to be the main representations of what to do and what not to do, which we're going to get into at the moment. And a lot of y'all may be so distracted, if you are, or you have this in your chart somewhere, Scorpio, and it'll be in that area, especially when it comes to y'all houses. Always check y'all houses too. That's the area that you're going to experience all that to even have to use your sun and moon. And if they're not even in that house, you're going to need other assistance, other people's sun and moon in that area, or another attribute or sign or planet, if y'all want to get into that, in that area to replace whatever you lack to fulfill, so you could go through that area of your life secure when it comes into your houses or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes into the fixed signs, that'd be Tauruses, Scorpios, Aquariuses, and Leos, and y'all the main representations of what to do or what not to do when it comes to fixating ourselves on something. But for the most part, our actions want it to be expressed, want it to be entertaining, want it to be creative. But what makes us feel comfortable is, the stability, the security, the comfort. And every now and then these clash, and it's a 90-degree angle when it comes into the Leo concept of fixated ways of seeing and feeling about things, and Taurus way of being fixated, because they're the fixed signs, of being fixated on things, of thinking and being practical. So, certain expressions or certain ways of getting attention may not always represent being comfortable, you know what I'm saying, or practical, or about the money in some way, shape, or form. Then there may be certain things that may be too practical, too sturdy, too familiar, that may not leave no room for some attention elsewhere to produce more if we're talking about money or attention or whatever. So one cancel the other one out when it comes into every time we're talking about square signs. But this is what we may be experiencing for our own journey when it comes into our life. It may be something that you're more invested in when it comes to your business that may got blemishes or throw shade on when it comes into how you express yourself, or the things you're entertained by, or your creative attributes, and vice versa. There may be things that you're entertained by or you're giving attention to that you can't fully give attention to it because money purposes or practical issues or things that make sense, that may not make sense, that might lead you into procrastinating, expressing something that might not evolve into stability, security, money to a certain degree. You see what I'm saying? So these is going to be the energies that we're fighting with. And a lot of individuals is trying to carve up the lava energy, right? What is lava, right? Lava is coming like a fire bubbling up and it's melting the earth around it. So the earth take the shape and form around the fire, where a lot of times and vice versa, when it comes into the water takes the shape and form of the earth. So when the fire is the first stages of the fluid before it becomes the cool temperament of the cloud and the water, we get to see how it moves the earth because the earth came last. So when we start to come to the creative attribute of things, how can you shape this up so it could be calm, cool, and collected? Or how can you make a fireplace around that creativity in some way? How can you make this creativity not look like it's going to burn down if creativity was fire, burn down the whole esoteric neighborhood, but look like a pretty fireplace that everybody would rather surround, like it's a campfire in some way, and give all the attention to it because it's either entertaining or it can lead into the right attention for all the right reasons, not all the attention for all the wrong reasons if a person is unproductive or however the case may be. And then that's how this will kind of play out right now when it comes to a fixed fire. How can you kind of compartmentalize it so it could be something that fire don't burn things out, but it could be something that draw attention, and then you could duplicate things off that if you're doing it the right way. If you're doing it the wrong way, it'd be that getting all the attention, whatever you made that fireplace is, for all the wrong reasons. Then it'll burn down a little fireplace that you failed to make or failed to make sufficient. Then it'll lead into that fire right there. That'll lead into a fire right there. Then the whole esoteric neighborhood is burnt down. AKA in the one, two, and third dimension, that's a person crashing out. That's a person who done something wrong and not trying to take accountability and actually think that they're going to get some different results, going more extreme on what they was considered done wrong, or however the case may be, or others have considered that person done wrong. So that'd be a person going down the wrong path. So everything that they express in themselves don't lead into making money, don't lead into making sense through the eyes of others individuals or even themselves. And they'd be so blinded in that ego, they'd even justify crashing those things out, any comfort zone in their life, any productivity in their life, any security in their life, any way of making money in their life or whatever. Or even if they was making money, whatever their actions is showing is get ready to crash that out or lose certain qualities in that area, lose customers in that area, if they're in white collar, blue collar business, or lose stock, or however the case may be. And if you're a person that been dealing with a whole lot of personal issues, you could be in an unproductive space right now, and you probably already on that path, pardon me, where you're not taking your creativity and carving out a new substantiated or fixated area for it. You know what I'm saying? That's for all parties, business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. This universe testing us all right now. How can you shape and form this fire into a pretty fireplace or whatever? Like it's a controlled creativity. It got new direction or whatever, and it could be fixated here in some way, shape, or form. If you unproductive, you're going to lack that being a direction, and then you're going to be all over the place or blaming others that you're not in that position, being unaware that that's what's actually going on. So you may express yourself or express your creativity amongst the wrong people. People may thief it. You may express it amongst people who don't got time for it at the moment. So they may make you feel doubtful about what you actually expressing. You know what I'm saying? And it might just be the wrong time or however the case. But that that 90-degree angle is just going to cause those minor frustrations. And if you go too far into these biases and expectation, devil energy, you're going to have extreme letdowns that make you not even continue that path or to the fullest potential that you're supposed to, however the case may be. So now you're judgmental of yourself based upon experiences, not knowing the time of the stars. You know what I'm saying? Sun and moon, or however the case. You know what I'm saying? So it's about, and about your creativity is going to lead into the productivity, the practical solutions. And it's not about being extremely practical. That's going to lead into you being seen for, it can even be a possibility to duplicate if it's about your business, if it's about your money, if it's about your creative attributes or whatever the case may be. This is even a hard time to promote something right now. Things getting looked over based upon whoever you're promoting something to, personal life. You see what I'm saying? Let's say you an artist or however the case may be. This 2 days, a little bit of yesterday, today, or a little bit of tomorrow, or whatever the case may be, worst time to promote something new, or whatever the case may be. Because two things can happen. What you expressing yourself as may go into the opposite direction of producing that stability, security, or that money, or that comfort, or whatever. Or what you're a part of as part of stability, security, or whatever the case may be, you could be placed on the end of being guilty by association. So you're getting attention for the wrong reasons. So you may try to get attention for something that's back and supporting you that others may not like. Let's say you're the face of a toilet paper brand, and that toilet paper brand is ran by a company that maybe stop McDonald's from having a different toilet paper brand or whatever the case may be. So now there's a lot of people that want that other toilet paper brand in there, and you are artist and you on all the toilet paper brand rapping, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, or you a singer, right? So no matter how much you express yourself, people ain't gonna buy your records because your face on toilet paper, on a toilet paper that they striking against right now at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like something stupid like that. It could be in vice versa, where the attention could hurt the money, or how you get the money in the first place could be the attention for the wrong reasons or whatever. And then now you got to figure out this minor frustration or however the case. And that's just on a broad scale. You know what I'm saying? This may go through in personal people life or whatever. You may have certain qualities you like to express yourself in, that you like to have fun and enjoy yourself or entertain or have on your leisure time, that now is that minor frustration in your mind is going to make you kind of compartmentalize should you do that or not, because it may be other things that you have to see that's more important. Maybe a bill, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe the way you may look, that might not make sense at the moment, or it may not be practical at the moment. You know what I'm saying? You might want to go somewhere to enjoy yourself, Leo energy, fifth house energy, but the things you value, like a car, you may not have the gas, so it don't make sense. It may not be practical or whatever. And you may have the gas, but based upon, compartmentalizing your day and your week, what's more important. You got to have this much amount of gas to get to here, A, B, and C, or even if you got a job. So that'll be actually messing up, will actually keep you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? What keep you stable, stability, that earth, the Taurus energy or whatever. So these are things we may be struggling with, leisure and our comfortability, and one may get in the way of the other, where you want to express yourself, have your creativity, but something that grounds it may not necessarily there, or the things that ground you may block you from fully expressing yourself when it comes to your creativity. So it's like that nerve energy. If you're on that side and you got a lot of earth in your chart or whatever the case, which would be Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, you may be on the side where you don't like the vulnerability feeling you may feel, how other people may go out and about and express themselves. And earth signs in general have this issue. Every now and then they may look at, because they don't look at high hopes a lot of times within situations. So sometimes water signs, fire signs, and air signs may get into situations that look successful, that the earth sign will still find a pocket in that situation on how it was luck, and they still wouldn't have did that or been in that position that way based upon how they would have been seen. It's like showing up to somewhere, the earth sign feel like you're showing up somewhere unprepared, or you showing up somewhere expecting someone else to have more percentage scale of the helping hand of the scenario or whatever. So let's say a fire, water, or air sign, let's say we talk about music, and person ain't got a dime, but they're more invested into, but I got my voice. It doesn't matter. My voice will get someone to take me there, or get this person to do this, or get this person to put me into a house, or get me, you know what I'm saying? The earth sign is sit there and be like, even though I got a voice just like you, I can't show up like that. I got to show up credible a little bit, or my voice won't even get respected in the first place. And earth signs every now and then got to learn life is a balance. even though that's true on that side, it's true on the other side too. And there's going to be situations that the creativity take you further, and there's going to be situations that you got to look the part too, no matter the creativity. You know what I'm saying? That's why we even hear people who make music that's terrible, but probably in their personal situation that you don't know about is probably more substantiated than another artist that you come across that's probably you think more creative or whatever the case may be. So it's based upon each scenario. And every now and then, the lower octave earth sign, if they haven't been around the spiritual and physical block, had enough experiences, a lot of times they'd be more on a percentage scale of looking at things negative, and even in situations where it outweigh particulars, and then you just showing up actually works more. Situations like that, they'll look at a distance and be like, nah, that was by luck or something like that, and fail to ever place themselves in that same type of situation. And they be so prepared, they be better than people who put themselves in that situation and then doubt that. And then they'd be so much into an energy of, no, I don't know enough yet. Yo, I ain't good enough yet. To the point they went overboard on other people who just went to a boundary and went for it and was seen as creative or whatever. And sometimes it takes them to miss a few opportunities to be like, wait a minute, okay, I got to get up and be more expressive, or I got to get up and be more fluid, or I got to get up and be more communicative, aka that's fire, water, and air. You know what I'm saying? Be a more expressive fire, be more fluid, water, be more or connective, or be more communicative, air. And get out of these heavy thoughts that keep me in the eternal world. So that's what my Capricorns, my Virgos, and my Tauruses out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, it's a lot of situations y'all go through, though, that show you there's really no real reason to get out of that feeling, though. Especially when we be in a distracted world, we all be trying to go for these, though. There's more of the percentage scale to show Earth signs sometimes that it's more right to still be in that space. And the small lucks or whatever like that, that ain't a large percentage in the world. But it really is a balance. But it's just based upon us being in certain living conditions as y'all earth signs and certain neighborhoods and the stuff like that. It'll play out like that, where it's, you're more predicated on trying to be prepared for survival, other than just expressing yourself and thinking it's going to fall into place because it's just a talent, or because you're just there, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Which is a good quality to have. But sometimes it can leave you into missing opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Good quality to have when it's time to be prepared. Bad energy when it's time to take an opportunity, though. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad quality when it's time to go for something, though. And you got to experience a whole bunch of other people going for something that you can see from a distance. They didn't even go through the information withdrawal you went through. They didn't even go through all the mind games you went through. They didn't even go through all the small testing you went through to know how to fully be in that position. And that's when you're going to be like, oh, this person doing that, I know I'll be. And that's where earth signs a lot of times be having to see. But that sometimes, if you're on the lower octave side of your life, that'll be things you start to experience to start to push you into life more and be like, yeah, you got to be a rock. You got to be a rock. Because we all got emotions, but it's just how we deal with it. And that's how the Taurus, the Virgo, and the Capricorns deal with it. They have to make it something they can stand on. If it's an emotion that's as fluid like water, or trying to be expressed like fire, or trying to be thought about all the time and not practicalized like air, or whatever the case may be, that makes the earth sign uncomfortable. They have to ground it. You know what I'm saying? So if this is emotion I can't ground, I'm not an earth sign, but I'm speaking for earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. There'd be more in the energy of, this is emotion I can't ground. There's no need for me to have this emotion. So we all got emotions, but if you got an earth sign in your life, or whatever the case may be, it'll be an emotion they're trying to deal with while not expressing it or whatever, to make you think that they're sophisticated or whatever the case may be. So this is why they had those pent up energies at time. It come off overwhelming sometimes, because these be things that they deeply be trying to get rid of. So it's like, damn, if this emotion don't make sense, it don't need for me to have it, yet we all got emotions. So them dealing with that is like, sometimes that could become a nail in a rock in a hard place if this your family, friend, associate, or coworker, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Anytime things got to be expressed or whatever, sometimes if they can't see the practicality of it, if it doesn't make sense to be expressed, even when something needs to be expressed, or nothing would change at all, sometimes the earth sign to sit there and hold it down or whatever. And especially if it's a female, they can sit in relationships and get abused for years, and everybody thinks things is cool, and they sat there and act like it. And then when they start telling people how things is wrong, they have to go through their whole schedule book. They have to go through the whole calendar, whole book that they've been holding up, just to make people believe it, because they was upholding it so good or whatever. They like a rock. So you don't want to be no rock for unproductive situations or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like an emotion that you express, and you will start to feel vulnerable that other people sometimes express to get out of situations. And sometimes that can become abusive relationships, that can become messed up jobs that you don't like, but you're willing to deal with it or whatever. And you're willing to deal with stuff other people not even willing to deal with, due to the fact of you put a large percentage scale on your responsibilities or your tasks, your duties, or however the case may be. And sometimes that take your life away. It take you to get older and older to start, because we all start to get better with age. You know what I'm saying? It take you older and older to start to realize that I gave my life away to something that didn't even ground me. I gave my life away to something that I thought I was reaching comfortability, but it wasn't. I gave my life away to something I thought that was stable, but it wasn't stable. I did all that just for me to just be in the same situation I thought I was doing that for in the first place. And I'd be filtering through y'all jobs, y'all relationships, y'all Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns. Y'all got to understand these things. Start choose wisely and stuff so you don't have a pent up energy. Because all the pent up energy will go towards things that eventually you start to realize that this not even satisfying me. I'm still unfulfilled. I'm still don't feel grounded. I still, you know what I'm saying? So it's about your spirit trying to find that spiritual nature and get out of those physical natures that you're replacing it with due to the fact of comfortability. You know what I'm saying? Familiarity, things that make sense. Because yeah, if this person got a pair of these on, you know what I'm saying, maybe I need to or whatever like that, so I could feel comfortable in math class or whatever. And that's the only way I'm gonna pay attention to the teacher, so I can pass. Other than that, I can't think about the teacher. If I got on some Everlasters over there, I can't think about what's 4 plus 4. What is it? 18. I'm saying, I'm going on the Robberry gas station. You know what I'm saying? But this how kids think in elementary, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know what Michael Jordan did. I don't know what kind of smell the Space Jam did. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of. I don't know. Is it in the silhouette? So secret goddamn smell sauce and the silhouettes and the stitch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it must be something, man. I don't know what it is. But at the same time, that's the energy. So, you know, with Leo, it want everybody to be expressive, but you're not going to be able to be fully in that expressive energy due to the fact of being mightily frustrated with things that may not make sense, things that may not be practical at the moment. So, like I said, each fixed sign is going to be the example of that. Now, when it comes into the Leos, y'all going to have to understand where things have to be kind of a little bit more counterpartmentalized or sophisticated or whatever. Just because you express yourself or just because you're giving attention to something doesn't necessarily mean it makes sense to ground in oneself, go into comfortability. Sometimes Leos could put themselves into a whole uncomfort zone when it comes to their family, friends, or their business or whatever, and then force themselves on a life path of trying to find comfortability and uncomfortability or whatever, and coming up with in their mind of how that's a good thing or whatever. So a lot of times this be a crash out Leo, and so Leo's got to chill out on that too. But for the most part, Taurus wants you to kind of be a little bit more of a fireplace. Don't just be a fire that you're letting other individuals know that you're willing to burn down the whole esoteric goddamn street or whatever. You got to be that fire that's like, all right, I'm here and I'm just fixated here. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not about to go extreme for you to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of, in other times, alignments that may work for Leos. That's the common thing that work for Leos, however the case may be. They could put themselves in a lot of different pockets and get more of the attention to individuals that's probably good in that pocket or whatever. And they even have grace and allowed time to go ahead and develop their greatness in that area, even if they didn't start there or whatever. So that's just something that, because that's how we even look at the summertime or whatever. So the fixated portion of summertime is Leo. So that's the quality that they have or whatever. But this is not the right time for that. It ain't the right time to be like, well, let me shape in this image. Because Leos are shapeshifters too. They're shapeshifters. They take any how you kind of look at a person taking an image, that's a person who will probably take an expertise or take some, they don't even know how to do backflips. They just started off as cartwheels or whatever the case may be. But everybody liked them doing cartwheels more than your backflips doing with cartwheels or whatever. Now people giving them grace by all this attention that they done took from you to allow them to get good at backflips now. And anytime you bring up, man, you couldn't even do backflips, or homegirl, you couldn't even do back, everybody gonna look at you like a hater or whatever. Why you hating on the Leo or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful sometimes even trying to hate on the Leo. You gotta be careful. But that's when it works. The stars align. The stars on the line right now. The moon is in the Taurus. It's in a 90-degree angle, so it's gonna show you that nah, that ain't working right now. That don't make sense. And people might even point out you just doing it to get attention. You know what I'm saying? And you don't, even though that's what Leos do, they do it damn good. them and Libras. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, that might not work right now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to chill out, and everything don't needs to be expressed. Everything don't needs to be seen. All things how you feel don't need to be known by other individuals and things of that nature. And you'll be able to see how that work in other areas when it comes into the Taurus energy. It'll be things you start to react to that you'll start to see, oh, I'm more comfortable in this space. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is more familiar. This is more grounded right here or whatever. Oh, so I don't have to be all out in the light and then have to fight for these lights that I'm getting more attention in now. And I might have stepped on a few toes, crossed a few boundaries, but I'm that one street light right now. Now I got to fight all these other lights on the street light. You know what I'm saying? You'll start to see there's a comfort zone and not trying to be the brightest light on all the street lights on the street. If y'all know what I mean, Leos, y'all know what I be talking about, y'all know. Because everybody can shine when a Leo around. Y'all got all the same watts though. And Leo be like, I'm about to figure out somehow that I'm the brightest street light on the street. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to start to see how that come with other pressures or whatever. And sometimes it can block money in other areas or comfort zones in other areas. And you got to uphold this image that you know could lead in another area that may lead into fatigue in this area. You know what I'm saying? You might got this relationship and you don't want to express yourself, and you know how you got that person in the first place. Then once you withdraw from that, you start to feel that Leo vulnerability or whatever. Even if that person haven't seen it yet, then for the most part, that's when you start to hurt your own ego, or you start to crash out or start to expose things in areas that you didn't even have to expose. But with the intent of thinking that the person ain't gonna like it in the first place. And then for the most part, you're just crashing out all over. So sometimes you just you got that what they call that main character syndrome. Know how to sit back, know that you ain't the brightest street light on the goddamn street right now or whatever. And everything ain't about you. Leo's got that problems too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes y'all could think it could be a stranger or whatever, and you think that stranger is, since they're aware of you now, everything on their mind is ringing around you. No, that's not the case. That's going, especially with the moon and goddamn Taurus. It's not the case right now, Leo. That might have been the case when you was in the grocery store last week. You know what I'm saying? Or somewhere when the moon was there, but not today or whatever the case may be. So don't act out on that too. Because this is how that'll play out with the little frustration of the way you express yourself could hurt your money or something like that, right? You'll be in this Leo energy. You know you got this character in this stage or expertise or whatever the case may be. See an expression, seeing a feeling is fire. You're in your fixated energy. You may take offense the way somebody expressing themselves that don't got anything to do with you. Yet the way they're expressing themselves may be indirectly having something to do with you involved in, and whatever the case may be. Here you go, get ready to express yourself in your world amongst your people that other people you already connected to don't even know what you was paying attention to, right? Here go the main character syndrome where it kick in. Now this negative energy is attached to a person that already like you, looking at you in a different way because you express yourself thinking you're defending yourself against something that you don't even have to defend yourself against because you've seen it. See what I'm saying? And every now and then the Leos can have that problem. Whatever you see, you make up in your mind how it's about you, express yourself or in your world around your people, defending that. And the people in your world don't know why you acting that way. Don't know what you're defending. Don't know what you're expressing or whatever. So they just see it as negative, and it's really coming from main character syndrome or whatever the case may be, right? Then when the people you do know start to say you got this problem or whatever, you don't know how to compute it. All you know how to say is, no, I don't, and bring up energies of how you gave them praise in some type of way. Because you were so much in your own world, right? They wasn't part of that part of your world when you got offended by something that was getting attention. And Leos, y'all got to know how to get out of those filtering glasses every now and then, because when you do that, someone you are connected to that may could put you in a position may think twice now. That's how that type of stuff can hurt when it comes into Taurus. And then the moon being in Taurus. And then the reason is they give it, you won't be able to understand it because you didn't separate that main character syndrome being in that fixed energy or whatever. Then when it flips into the Taurus signs or whatever, y'all gonna have to learn how right now to even be more expressive or be more outright when it comes to challenging your comfort, because you are already the comfort signs. So you got to challenge your comfort. Challenge your friend comfort. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know that sometimes your friends be secretly developing their comfort zone on you on a large percentage scale. So just them knowing you in y'all relationship is a large portion of their comfort zone. When a large portion of your comfort zone is whatever you're doing and your job and your responsibilities or whatever, their part is less on a percentage scale in your life. And a lot of times y'all gonna realize that too, based upon when you start to see these people express themselves, express their feelings, that fixated energy that you probably couldn't see before the sun was in Leo. But now that the moon is in your sign, you're left to emotionally react to it now, when things probably could have been more stable and you didn't have to pay attention to it. It was less on a percentage scale and it didn't matter anyway, especially if it's things that your family, friends, or associates needed assistance with. You got it. You're going through a time right now where even if you do got it, why do you got it to give? That's what you may start to ask. Or why, even when it gets down to energy or whatever the case may be, or who you give your energy to, because we all want to share and reciprocate or whatever and things of that nature. But that's going to be the kind of energy that you in, being a Taurus. And is it grounding or not? Does this ground you giving attention to this? Does it ground you expressing yourself in that way? You know what I'm saying? You could be doing something else. You could be making money. You could be exercising. Why do you got to express yourself around this flunked out person? Does this make sense? Is this relationship even stable? Is this networking even stable? This is what you're going through right now. You may even start to get a disdain for certain people in these situations and how they're expressing themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because that Leo energy is filtered through expression, but it's squaring your sign, 90-degree angle. So it's not that you don't like Leos in general. We're talking about just the energies themselves, any sign. But they may be expressing themselves that may not have no backing or support about things that you're already involved in. A person may be expressing themselves. Let's say you got a friend and they want a job, or another friend, they want a relationship. But you could clearly see the way they're expressing themselves don't appear to be like a person who want a relationship. The way this person expressing themselves don't appear like a person who put in applications. So you know what I'm saying? You're looking at it from that angle or whatever the case may be. And that's that little frustration, and that's where you probably got to wake up your friends. Or if you're unproductive, this is where your family and friends may wake you up at the moment and start to tell you. They may even say things like you're paying attention to the wrong things. You might even hear that from somebody right now if you're unproductive, being a Taurus. Hey, you're paying attention to the wrong things right now. You're entertaining the wrong shit or something. You know what I'm saying? You might even hear them exact words. That's how crazy it be. Or you might have to tell somebody else that or whatever, due to the fact of, yeah, this, you cool with this person, this family or friend, but they paying attention to the wrong thing, and it's being unstable at the moment. It's making us be unprepared about something, or it's making us be unstable about something, and we got to make sure we be prepared or whatever. Because Tauruses, they right next to Aries, so they got the crash out energy, but they still an earth sign, so they know how to last minute get straight, get sophisticated, go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, and get back to part. Like the Capricorn, and sometimes the Virgos may not ever get there. They just imagine to be there. They imagine being stable. They imagine, you know what I'm saying? They imagine being comfortable because they're an earth sign. May not necessarily always be that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Virgos. You know what I'm saying? They work hard though. When they become the higher octaves and stuff like, they very helpful for everybody and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just don't ask them for no advice about that. A Virgo will look at you like just the simple fact you need advice. Something wrong, ain't nothing about to go right, or whatever the case may be in other areas. You know what I'm saying? You're about to save your, just save your, I need opinion energy, or whatever it is, save it. You know what I'm saying? Virgo's got a harsh 2 cents. Virgo's got a harsh, you got, like, if you was broke and you was down to your last penny, sometimes you got the second question, do you want the Virgo's 2 cents? No, you know what I'm saying? You got the second question at me, because you might need to get on a train, the esoteric boat, the esoteric train. You know what I'm saying? You might need to get, you be having a second question, do you need a Virgo? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just thinking question. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I love all my Virgos. I love all my Virgos. But like I said, though, you know what I'm saying? Just the energy itself. When it comes to the earth signs, and the moon is in Taurus at the moment, it got us all fixated on comfort and how to get stable. But you got to be more expressive right now if you are a Taurus to get that done. You know what I'm saying? Your comfort zone may be a little burnt out due to the fact that people, places, and things making things erratic, or needing a little too much money from you, or you being in a situation. And if you're unproductive as a Taurus, this may be the worst time in your life when you in that position of needing money, or needing a 1-2, or you know what I'm saying, need that assistance, or however the case may be. And that's like one of the worst times. And you having to express it a little bit more than you previously had to. Like usually a person will probably express it before you to give you a helping hand. Leo gonna make you have to express it, and it's gonna hurt. I gotta ask for help. I got, you know what I'm saying? And that's if you haven't been doing right based upon taking care of your situation or being prepared as the Taurus. Now, Aquarius, now y'all gonna be in a situation where y'all squared up too, due to the fact of, not squared up, but opposed up, being the Aquarius, and we just got to the Leo and the Scorpio, because Scorpio is opposed Taurus and Aquarius is opposed Leo. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to being fixated, now you may have a lot of thoughts, and you may want to see. Here's the thing with Aquarius is you got a lot of thoughts that you know it takes certain actions, and you didn't thought about all the reactions it'll get, and that be the main feeling or thought you try to ghost before it become an external situation that you have to ghost or separate from a family, friend, or associate. So these be things Aquarius has already be going through or whatever the case may be. But here's the instability. You're on the opposite end. You got to express that. You can't run away, or you can't ghost and think other people going to be a mind reader and fulfill those pockets that needed from whatever that you separated from. Even when it comes to corporations and stuff like that, Aquarius has got a habit of ghost in a situation that don't appear to be a ghost situation, because you're part of it, right? But you didn't build certain relationships because your good communication style, whatever the case may be, that you didn't planted things in these people's mind, your networks and your friends and stuff mind, that sometimes you could slide off into that lazy energy like all fixed signs could do, because you know that person gonna take up your slack. And every now and then Aquarius is to see how far they can go from that, to the point that they got a whole worker. They got a whole group of workers that's filtered through their family, friends, and associates, and even co-workers and stuff like that. The Aquarius don't even be a boss of a place, and somehow flip it through their networking and association skills, communication skills, and end up being like a low-key underboss, a low-key under manager. Their employee getting paid just like all the other employees, and y'all all answer to the manager or whatever. But somehow all the other employees is working for the Aquarius, and even the manager in some way, shape, or form. All the way to the point, an Aquarius could get relationships so cold, be an excusable no-show. Be a no-show. Other people be like, oh yeah, we know this Aquarius because they told us something about this and something they like it'll be somehow they built the relationship to make it so cold they can have an excusable no-show or whatever. Like Aquarius is cold at that. They cold at stuff like that. They cold at stuff. So they got that ghosting energy in areas that ain't even got nothing to do with ghosting energy. But you can't really do that right now. You got to express. You can't think people gonna be mind readers or whatever. Or you can't be that nonchalant or sarcastic, because sarcastic let people know you are paying attention to what we paying attention to. That nonchalant let us know you must be trying to run away from what we are not trying to run away from and focus on, or whatever the case. So you can't slide no intellectual concept, conversation, allegory in it to make it more distant from the center focus we need to be focusing on at the moment, the actual matter at hand. Aquarius know how to muddy the waters a lot too. They real good at muddying the waters. Y'all can't do that right now. Y'all know how to do, like, it's a main focus of a subject matter, and then you throw this little mud on it. Before we know it, we talking about this, and then this matters more away in space, microphone head or something. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Let's not forget, we talk about this in the first place because goddamn your homeboys check, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. It could be something like that. We just flipped it somewhere else, like, oh yeah, because she was doing this and you was over here. It ain't got nothing to do with when we talk about far out of space. You fucked your best friend, bitch. Let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? See, that's Aquarius to be trying to add other sauce to stuff, but you gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. They talk about they set it up a whole week in advance. Tell you and all the homeboys, yeah, I'm about to be going on out of town or something. They ain't going out of town. They going right around the corner to fuck your bit, because they know what time you go to work. You gotta pay attention so everybody think this person went basketball practice the whole week or whatever the case. No, they just set it up, sit in the crib for about 4 days for that Friday to fuck your and you go to work or whatever. It's come back outside Monday. Everybody asks these cats, yeah, what happened on the trip or whatever. These cats make up some glorious story. Man, don't be listening to all these Aquariuses all the, you know what I'm saying? I love my Aquarius. I ain't telling y'all secrets on that. Like, telling y'all cheating secrets or whatever. Oh, I said that. But other than that, like I said, y'all can't do that. Y'all gotta be expressive right now, because people are already caught on if you in that unproductive space. If you in a productive space or whatever the case may be, you can't even run away from express yourself amongst a person that you know doing something wrong at the moment, but you already know the extra energy that may have to play out throughout the week or the day. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how y'all got those friends or family or whatever, and you know something needs to be said, but it causes another issue. And all that ain't worth the thing being said in the first place. But then after that go on so long, you don't even know how to deal with it, but ghost or separate a little bit and hope this person chill out on that energy or chill out on that way of acting. Then that's when you will slowly come back to them or whatever the case may be. And a lot of people don't be knowing, if you a friend or a family member to an Aquarius, y'all don't be knowing that's what they be doing or whatever the case may be when they be going through those, but that's what they be doing. I don't mean to be telling y'all serious, but that's what they be doing or whatever the case. So sometimes they be when it coming to needing what they call that, needing closure or whatever, don't ever wait on an Aquarius for that. Don't ever wait on no Aquarius for closure. You must be out your mind. You're gonna be needing vitamins. You might be needing to getting into a nursing home pretty soon or whatever the case. Maybe your coroners might be getting ready a few months later. I'll say, you waiting for closure from Aquarius? You out your mind. I'll tell you that right. Keyword, out your mind. Because you didn't let these air, goddamn space microphone, goddamn candy bar head balloons, and understand a hot air balloon head. You didn't let them get you far out in space or whatever the case may be. But when you came back to reality, it's too late. You on a nursing home bed. Talk about I ain't picked the right relationships. You know what I'm saying? That's way too late. Fucking with a damn Aquarius. But yeah, but yeah, y'all gotta be expressive right now. Y'all can't sweep nothing right now. It gotta be said, because the times y'all like to say it, y'all done thought about it so long. When y'all do say it, y'all make people around y'all think it's the first time you saying something, and now it'd be harsh though. It'd be harsh through the eardrums of other people. It'd be, and in your mind, you know you've been in that space. You already looked at your family, friends, and associates that's retarded and stuff like that. Even when they ain't, even when they got more money than you got the retarded or something. So you don't be knowing it be built up, because the fixed signs always building up energies. So it come across to other people as harsh. It come across to you like normal, but you forgot it was your normal fixated thought you've been thinking about. Even when you was getting ready to ghost them. You know, these was big thoughts you've been thought about. You know, since you gotta know it's gonna come out that way. Since you don't be in the emotion, you be in the air and try to deal with your emotions, you don't understand how someone else gonna react to your emotion you ain't see as an emotion. You saw as like a thought project. You know what I'm saying? You thought you saw that as a science test or something like that. Like, what's this emotion? Before I express it, I come back to it next week. That you ain't even jump into it and express it amongst the people. You didn't, the situation it developed, you ghost from it. You know what I'm saying? And left from it. Don't nobody know how you feel about something. And say, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? Answer your phone, Aquarius. Answer your phone. Don't be that way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, but yeah, so once you do that, you'll start to see how that play better out for your money. The stuff that minor frustration stuff, you'll start to see it play out as better comfort zones when it comes to money or having a good face card or getting the ball rolling and stuff like that, and not allowing situations to lead on down the line to the point that it could be a good situation still, but all that pent up internal animosity energy or whatever don't even make you feel like it's worth hanging around for, or however the case may be. Because Aquarius is good for that too, creating a good situation and all the other stuff get in the way of it continuing being a good situation. Now the communication is all discombobulated for it to even get back to that space that makes it a good situation or whatever the case may be. And they be doing that with their family, their friends and associates. And then they get better in life though, once they become the higher octave Aquarius and start to realize, man, I could be frustrated with people I'm already comfortable being frustrated with, because I start to realize in life you're gonna be frustrated with anybody. Ain't just because somebody new, that don't mean I'm experiencing some new energy. So let me not get lost in those few early excitements. And once Aquariuses learn that, they get way better with their money. They get way better with their relationships, way better with their family, way better with how they deal with things, and stop from getting taken advantage of or getting placed in situations that they got to take advantage of others once they start to reach that point of realizing, I did better with the person I already knew than this person, or I already got a friend that do me like that. I don't need this stranger that I made a friend doing me like that, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. They start to get better once they reach a lot of those situations and stuff. So that's when it comes to the Aquarius. Right now, the Scorpios. Now, y'all gonna be in a situation right now when it comes into you already in the energy of not being so expressive when it comes to all your intentions. All your, Scorpios know how to counterpartmentalize what needs to be shown and what don't need to be shown or whatever, because they got that self-awareness of how they know how other people will see it. And for the most part, Scorpios, they run the whole opposite direction of any place of being in vulnerability, any place of feeling incapable or vulnerable, or people looking at them in a certain way. And Scorpios got a lot of weird thoughts. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of crazy and out there thoughts, or whatever the case, that you would never know, right? But they know what to express and what not to express or whatever. Now, during this particular time, this is what everybody trying to poke out of people or whatever. So the Scorpio may even feel uncomfortable even holding on to certain things. You might even see other people expressing themselves in ways that, I wouldn't express myself that way. That made me feel vulnerable. You might see a reason for it during this particular time due to your opposite sign and the moon being in Taurus. You might see that there's a possibility of money in it. You might see and this is where the frustration gonna come from. Scorpios, y'all gonna be fighting with yourselves. A little bit of yesterday, today, a little bit of tomorrow, and stuff like that, fighting with yourself, because you're gonna see a whole bunch of energy that you kind of put or kind of compartmentalize in a box of crash out energy. Yet it don't appear to be crash out. It's starting to seem as the norm a little bit. And whatever little kind of compartmentalized pocket you in, whether you at your workplace, whether you start to see like you getting paid the same thing other people are doing, why you got to uphold this energy, why you got to work harder than other, it's like little stuff like that in all little different areas. How you deal with your gang, family, friends, associates, or whatever, co-workers, however the case may be, right? So, but when it comes into the Leo energy, and by the moon being in Taurus, you may feel the necessary need to express something that normally may make you feel vulnerable, for the sake of thinking that it's going to reach that comfort zone, it's going to reach that from that money, or it's going to reach that safe zone, or whatever the case may be. So you willing to even make up like a stinger, make up a manipulating way how it may not truly be you, but you know that this is what you need to show, but you still got a quality behind it that you could back out of it anytime you start to feel too vulnerable or uncomfortable in that situation. But here's the thing, that's where that minor frustration is going to come from, how to go about things that way. And I'm going to say, don't even play those games. Because whatever you do right now, Scorpio, it's all fixed signs. Y'all dealing with that square opposition. It will bite you in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you think you do now is like that boot gang energy or whatever. You're going to do something now that once you want to do something else, it's tainted. Every time you try to do something else, everybody just know you for this, know you for saying that, know you for expressing yourself in this way, know you for having your feelings in that way. When you was doing it based upon thinking other people was doing it because it looked like it's practical. It looked like it makes sense. It look like it's even making money right now. Let's say even if you're online and you're a content creator, you're a Scorpio, you're going to see a lot of things right now that make you feel like maybe I need to participate in that for a little bit, or however the case may be, right? But I'm telling you, 6 months down the line, it ain't even gonna be that long right now, because like I said, square, y'all dealing with opposites and square, so it's gonna be fast experiences. You know what I'm saying? So don't jump the gun and get excited just because you see other people grounding themselves in that energy, or you see others make it look like it's comfortable. Other people know how to deal with that. Other people know how to be in that crash out energy. You know what I'm saying? Just be in that energy and even if you're trying to make a career out of it, or however the case may be. Eventually, Scorpios, you gonna want some privacy. You can't do that 24/7. You can't be in that position. That becomes a Britney Spears shave my head moment for you once that go too far. The money will get good or whatever the case may be, but eventually you'll start to feel opposite, because that's still your opposite energy, Taurus. Being comfortable in that energy, regardless of the reaction or the feelings about it. I just got to get this dollar to make sure I keep this roof over my head, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You're opposite. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, some of that will make you withdrawn, will make you fatigued, or whatever the case may be. So it's going to be a lot of things that entice you right now, Scorpios, but don't bite the fruit. Don't bite, and it might be something that make you start to feel comfortable, like, well, I can get with this. This ain't so bad. This person doing this person doing that. But you know how that start to affect how you created things when it comes to you and your family and your friends and your associates, and how you're seen, or whatever the case may be. It's a different way of how you structure your position within these things before you can do that, or whatever. And all Scorpios that did that learned their lesson, especially when it comes to celebrities that Scorpios or whatever, and Aries, but mainly Scorpios. So we talk about Scorpios right now. Y'all know how that, and Cancers to a certain degree too. Once Aries, Cancers, and Scorpios, because Mars is debilitated at Cancer, and it rules Scorpio and Aries. Once you start to live a life where there's no personal space, or whatever the case may be, you willing to crash it out. Anything that's in that personal space, you will crash out in front of it for it to get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Sagittarius is too. Now, Leos know how to sustain that space. Leos know how to sustain that space. Libras know how to sustain that space. Even Capricorns know how to sustain that space. Geminis know how to sustain that space. They know how to sustain that space. If there ain't no way to get out in our own space every now and then, it's not going to work. It's not going. It's going to be very bad for other people too, and things of that nature. Once you can't hold in what you see after a while too, you know what I'm saying? That's especially Aries, Cancer, especially the goddamn Scorpio, or whatever. So, from a distance, a lot of Scorpios don't even be in that position. So I'm telling you right now, don't even put yourself in that position. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be fruits. It's early fruits right now that'll make you feel like, you know what I'm saying? That tastes good or whatever the case. I know how to do that better than them. But because you see more than other individuals, it's like having knowledge become a problem sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Because you're too aware. So when you know what you're doing, and if you could kind of put in your mind like the idea of someone who's as smart as you, how they would see it, it'll make you feel stupid even doing it and stuff. So you'll be more into like a reverse psychology version of it. Yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm secretly getting ready to destroy this whole thing. Yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm about to expose all the stuff that's going on with this thing. Yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm only doing this for once I get what I'm getting out of it. It can get riddance. Somebody destroy it, and anybody who a part of it or whatever the case may be, it ain't my fault. We was all doing something wrong. We know that. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes that be the Scorpio mentality. You know what I'm saying? So right now, you ain't even got to be in that energy, be in that vibe, because it's only going to play out through your family, friends, and associates when y'all start to do stuff and things of that nature. Then you're going to start to get that Ricky hop out the whip or hop in the whip energy. Whether you have to force somebody out the whip or you have to consider whether you in the whip or not, due to the fact of, you know, that this can't go too far. I can't uphold this, and I can't be in a whip every day. You mean I can't go to the crib? You know what I'm saying? You mean I can't do, you know what I'm saying? I can't go do my passions, motivations, and my desires or whatever that these cats don't even know about or whatever, that you know, that secret behind closed door energy or whatever. Or whatever. So when right now, when it comes into the moon being in Taurus, is going to get you enticed. All money ain't good money. All attention ain't good attention. So as long as you know that, Scorpio, you'll be good. Especially if you in a career, even if you make music. Let's say you a Scorpio who make music or whatever. All songs recommended for you to do ain't good to do right now. Just don't listen to all your handlers or your best friends, yes men around you, yes women around you. And hey, this tempo right here and this beat, this tempo beat right now was lit and getting it. I mean, that might be good or whatever the case may be, but like you already got, don't just be jumping on something, because once you get that, it might have a stain. Then once you got that transformative energy, and the moon is no longer in your opposite sign, Taurus, now you're going to want to express yourself in another area, but you already on a unproductive scale, and your other square going to still be stingy. You shine a light on, you shouldn't have did that. Now you want to express this, but someone like you just dropped that whack song though. And the song probably wasn't whack, but the energy of it was you was trying to match what someone else was doing or what everybody else was doing. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but it ain't y'all time. All the fixed signs, y'all got to be self-aware of what y'all doing. And with any type of field that you are in, instead of people looking at it like it's a good song, people gonna be more looking at it like, oh, you just did it because it's the sound right now, or whatever the case may be. Now you could dibble and dabble, but when we do too much, when we overcompensate, when we do too much, that be the only thing people can attach to for what you're doing. Stay light, stay free. So if you're a Scorpio right now, do that within your careers or whatever that you're doing, whatever. Yeah, you can put piece here, but don't just fully go for something. Don't fully put all your eggs in a basket for a little bit of yesterday, today, and a little bit of tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Stay lighting up. And even when you do things that people don't understand, it just appear to be weird or unique at the moment because people are invested in expressing themselves to ground themselves in some form of money, comfortability, stability, security, or some money or whatever. Or people is more rooted into giving attention to their money or their stability or their work or whatever. And that's the only thing that they're trying to express. So let's say you might be a part of someone's cash cow. They're more invested into that other than a creative attribute and the outlook it may have or whatever the case may be. And just doing something for a quick cash cow could hurt when you're trying to do something that can actually get money in the future. Something very talented, but then somebody got to bring up you was on something trash just because it was something like a TikTok-ish. You know what I'm saying? TikTok-ish song. So you got to be careful. Being a Scorpio right now, be choosy with what you participate with while still having to interact, because we're in a capitalist world at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But what you do right now could hurt the moves you possibly can make that's successful in the future, Scorpios, because the moon is in your opposite sign. So you don't want to do something you don't want to do anything to put stain on what you possibly could come up with. And if you're productive, you're a person that already know that. If you're unproductive, you're a person that's already trying to get in where you can fit in already anyway. So it's going to take you a few crash outs and a few blemishes and a few things that now you got to clean up so you can fully go forward with something new or doing what you're doing without that previous thing being there. You know what I'm saying? It takes Scorpios a lot, the lower octave ones, to go through a lot of those situations to start to realize, all right, and I got to stop playing or whatever the case may be, and stop participating in those things that I think everybody else doing that actually doesn't work for me, because the Scorpios will constantly go through a transformative situation, something that even worse happened than someone else doing the same thing type of stuff. Like, I don't know why. Every sign got their quality of that. Capricorn, something dealing with your parent life wasn't right. Scorpios, y'all in this area or whatever, where you could be doing the same thing somebody else is doing. You get caught first, though. Or something bad happened in your circumstance first or whatever, and somebody else doing the same thing. And you're left to have to think, question karma, where you could be like, well, what goes around comes around, not karma. But you could be like, well, there's situations where I see in reality that happens. It'll never happen for me, though. When I do stuff good, things don't happen good for me. And then when I'm trying to be good, things negative happen to me or whatever the case may be. Yet when I'm seeing other people do negative, I see them get back what they supposed to get back. When I see other people do something positive, I see people get that back. How come I'm not in that field of reality with nothing? And Scorpios be in that energy sometimes. They it's like universe force you to be a helper of something. And you the one, the thing wouldn't even be there without you. But you got to be the supporting water. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like weird. But everybody got their energetic traumas and stuff like that when it comes into the sun and the moon and their positions, and understanding that you are a star, a 5-point of being. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Now, no haters, but all the positive and adult spirits out there and things of that nature. We got a lot of Gen Zs that's adult spirits right now, way adults than 60-year-olds, and you know what I'm saying, all kind of stuff. So I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight Boss Beep, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and responsibilities and obligations and duties. Erectus Swah Hill Hold That Yellow Hoop. Massasoit, Mama Natoy. Hee hee. Ooh, Masasaki. Bakatawa Masasaki.